Okay, good morning everybody, it's Chris the Blind Woodturner here. So it's great to have you back. Now, what I've got planned today is something that I've been having a tinker around with and I've had success with. So, first of all I'm going to say what I'm going to do today. You know, if you're not happy with giving it a go, please don't copy me. I'm doing this in my own workshop where it's my workshop, my rules. I know my limitations and what I'm happy to, have a go with. So please, don't see this and run out and have a go. But yeah, I've had a go and I've had success, like I've said. And what I'm going to be doing today is turning this. So, well, a part of this. And what this is, everybody, it's what's known as a breeze block. Or there's a trade name Thermalite in this country, cinder block. Now don't get this confused with the heavier concrete block, because if you try to mount that to your lathe, you will probably destroy your lathe, kill yourself, and you probably won't be able to cut it anyway with a panel saw that you can with this. This is very light, it probably weighs a couple of kilo, that's all, and the piece that I'm going to cut off weighs nothing. So the concrete block weighs 10 times more than this, and you'd know the difference. So please, if you're going to give this a go, make sure it's the cinder block that's very light, not the concrete blocks, which would be catastrophic. So that's what we're doing today, some cinder block turning, and what I'm going to do now is cut a piece off and we'll get to it. Okay everybody, so I've got the cinder block here just in a workbench. So you've got an old panel saw here that cuts this stuff really well, so I'm just going to guess roughly at a block to mount to the lathe. So judging from past experience, that feels about okay. And this stuff cuts nice and easy, makes a lot of dust, so when we get turning I'll talk more about making sure you've got proper PPE. And there you have the block for the lathe. Okay everybody, we're back now at the lathe, and I've mounted it to a waste block and done a hot glue fixing method. So that's nice and firm now. So what I would suggest is, I've got still my very first set of turning tools, cheap and nasty, but ideal for turning breeze block and cinder block. So I recommend, if you've got some old tools and you don't want to be taking the bevel and the edge off your good stuff, use some old tools, that you might not use as often anymore. I found that it turns pretty much the same as wood, only a lot easier. You don't have to have the lathe spinning very fast. It really is super soft, this stuff, once you start making a cut. So we're going to get going in a minute. I must reiterate the fact that I've got some doors open here for good ventilation, and I'm going to be wearing a good dust mask and goggles. So same rules apply as far as the PPE goes, and just take it nice and slow and we'll get turning. So I'll just put my dust mask on. Okay, I've drilled out now, so I've got it to this depth. So what I need to do now is just use a parting tool to. Right, I've got my parting tool there. So if I want to go something like, that's where that is. So I'm going to go and give it a bit of extra depth. So I'm just going to make a cut. So that'll be the finished depth. So what I'm going to do now is start shaping the outside. Now I'll just bring up the tail centre. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of hollowing out now. Now there's no need to go mad. Again, keep the speeds nice and low. And you can just gauge the thickness with your fingers, and we're just really after enlarging this opening here. Just have a feel with that. Just a bit more. And then using this small detail gouge, I'll just refine the rim. Very gentle. Just have a feel of that. Okay, so I'm ready, believe it or not, I'm ready for some sanding now. So I'm going to sand this up, and again I'll just take my time. The sanding works so fast, it just devours this stuff. So I just use 120 to refine the shape, get out any tooling marks, and it literally takes seconds. So in fact I might as well show you how. And my idea for this came about by doing some turning that was sort of like all weather and could be sat outside on a patio set. And you know, obviously if you did it out of a beautiful piece of wood, it'd be sacrilege to let the elements destroy it. So I was just thinking of making something that was more sturdy for the outside. So move that tool rest. Careful inside. And then I just get a wooden block with a slit in it, pull some paper around it, and then you can get inside so it doesn't get your fingers. Okay. So that's the shape I'm after there now, and you can feel all little air pockets and voids in this stuff. It's very, very tactile. So what I just need to do now is put the tool rest back on and part it off. About right, raise that up. Find my parting tool. Oops, no, detail gouge. There it is. Nice and slow. Tap, you know. And there she goes. So they have a cinder block turned vase. So it has a knob on there and it sands that easy by hand. I'll take that off in a minute and show you what I'm going to do next. Okay everyone, back at the bench now here with the turned vase. So I've got some chestnut ebonizing lacquer now. So for the next stage I lay down some colour, which is pretty cool. In fact, I'll do the inside first. You can wear gloves if you want to do this, I never bother. Just gentle dusting inside. It covers very well. And obviously the porosity of this cinder block sucks it in very quickly. We'll get some on the outside now. I mean, don't be too greedy for finish. You know, don't blast it on, because you would still get runs if you were too ambitious. So just keep doing that. Getting some colour down, and this will give it a good base for the next step. Just get right. Okay, I'll let that dry up and then I'll give it a second coat and then I'll come back. Okay everybody, it's had 2 coats of the ebonizing lacquer. Now, not only does that give it a good base for the next step, but it helps seal everything in because it's very dusty and porous. If you just like the look of the plain breeze block, which would be obviously a bubbly grey form, fine. I would recommend that you spray it though with clear lacquer just to seal it. But the next step for me now is I've got the copper gilt cream. So what I do now is apply some to the brush, get rid of that, and then I start applying the copper gilt to the work, just gently brushing it in using a dry brush technique. And you keep doing that until the whole piece is either covered, in my case, because I can't chuffing see it, or you do it until you've reached the desired effect. But I just go through the motions, dry brushing it, and then Nicola will tell me later what it's like and if I need to apply any more. But just keep working it in. So, you know, similar sort of effect as what you'd get on the Viking bowl, with a black base and then the gilt cream. Obviously you can use whatever colour gilt cream you like. I happen to have just copper in, so That's what I'm using. So just keep doing that, working it in. So I'll finish that up and then you can come back and have a look at it. Okay everybody, I'm finished now, so I thought I'd bring you back. So anyway, this was my very first attempt at a cinder block / breeze block vase. So it's a bit smaller than the other ones that I've done, but it was just proof of concept. So I turned it again on a glue chuck and it held very well. I did originally try a tenon, but the slightest pressure from the jaws on the chuck just compressed the cinder block and it ended up snapping. So glue chuck, it's the way to go really. And this was just turned, sanded and then sealed with clear lacquer, so it isn't dusty anymore. And then the second one that I did is this one. Again, similar form and the ebonizing lacquer and gilt finish, and I keep some of my favourite incense sticks in the house. And then here's the one that I've just done today. So again, and I love the feel, and you can tell now that it's been lacquered and gilded. It feels more substantial, but it is massively brittle stuff. It's as brittle as fine glass or fine china, so if you drop it, the chances are a chunk's going to come off it. So yeah, if you're just careful and put it somewhere nice or on a table outside in the spring, and yeah, and it happens to rain, it's not going to ruin it, I don't think. It's a breeze block. I don't know if you know, it's compressed fuel ash and cement, so it should, well, now it's sealed and gilded and everything, it should stand up fine outside. So that was my idea, outdoor turnings. So I love the idea of the black and the copper gilt finish, because again it feels old and medieval. It's like an old goblet. Nicola said it looks almost monistic, you know, a medieval relic you might find in an old abbey or something. So I don't know, let me know what you think. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. It's massively dusty, but as long as you've got your extraction on and your dust masks, you'll be fine. Keep the lathe slow until you've got it balanced, and you'll be amazed at how simple it turns, and have fun with it. So it's been a pleasure sharing that with you. So have a go, have fun, and let me know what you've been able to do with a bit of a breeze block and cinder block. So until next time everybody, thanks. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.